Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. I know you guys have been jonesing for it, so here's another Flash game. It's going to be Flash here in the bottom right of Retro, and he is going up against one of the most famous StarCraft players in the world. This is C. Of course, C did qualify for ASL this season, which is pretty exciting. Flash did not try, in case anyone was wondering. That was kind of expected. He hasn't started streaming yet again or anything. And really nothing left to prove for the guy, so we'll see if he ever does come back to ASL. But, you know, C must be in pretty good shape to have qualified, right? So kind of excited to see this. You know, some of you may know past C, some of you might know present C, or some of you might not really know C at all. So let me talk about him just for a moment here, okay? C is considered one of the more talented players, really ever. He was on NBC Game way back in the day and was a Pro League killer. Didn't do as well in individual leagues, but just crushed for his team. One of the best macro Terrans in the world. Kind of notoriously did not practice that much. And had a really nice career overall, like a very, very solid player. Definitely considered back in the day better than many other Terrans that you might find more famous nowadays, such as Light, who was also on his team. So nowadays, obviously he got second in an ASL 2 Flash. That was season 2, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And kind of just became a big variety streamer. He does a lot of like in real life streams and stuff like that. A very funny guy. And everyone just really enjoys his streaming career quite a bit. So he's super, super famous, but still maintains excellent skills in StarCraft. But I think that finals that he hit is probably going to be his all-time high. He's not of the level where I would ever consider him beating the top guys in a tournament setting. But yeah, still obviously very, very, very good. Little side note, really nice guy in real life. When I first moved to Korea, actually, he came out and had beers many times and was very welcoming and cool to hang out with. So... anyways, getting into this, we have Flash down here, and it looks like he's going towards factory expansion. C instead going for a gasless expansion, and it is cross map. So these builds will probably be a little bit better for C overall. And yeah, we'll see what Flash does in this situation, because when you scout this, it is a little bit frustrating. It is a little bit like... well, your opponent is just going to get ahead as far as SCVs go, right? The thing is, some of these, I feel like someone like Flash in this position probably won't get very far behind. If it's command center first, then basically no matter what, you're going to be a bit behind. But with gasless, it is a little bit slower, a little bit more janky of a build order. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it to see. Like, okay, he scouted that second. How does he react, right? So he runs the SCV away immediately. We have the command center starting. We have a Vulture starting and full SCVs on gas here from Flash. SCV going to the side. Ooh, this might be like a starport. This kind of looks to me like this is going to be a hidden starport. So that first Vulture pops out, and there's the add-on. And there's the starport. Okay, so this is actually a very popular thing to do against this type of play from C. Now, oh my god, he scouts it right away. Okay, well, that's how popular it is, right? That C went down and found it immediately, and in fact, well, actually, he didn't quite get the SCV. So it looks like he will be able to continue this. Oh, that missed shot almost allowed the final hit on that SCV. That would have been crazy. Now, there's 3 Marines in that bunker, so you're not going to want to do a run-by. Sometimes you can do something like sacrifice this and do the run by. 2 factories being made by C. He'll probably just go Vultures into Goliath, I think. But like you can go, for instance, 3 factory Vulture against this, and they have to make a full wall over here. Now speed coming up for Flash. This is actually, I'm like sitting here memorizing everything that's going on right now to try to figure out, okay, what is this exactly going to look like? He does go add-on, and he does go for that armory right away. Okay, so the add-on's okay. We'll see if he goes Siege Tank right away here, or if he's going to pop out a Vulture. I think it must be Siege Tank since he went for the add-on, and yes, in fact, it will be. The one other thing he may want to think about is the possibility of going for an academy here. And there it is. Okay, perfect. So basically, when people do the vulture drop, I would say probably 30% of the time you follow that up with Cloak Wraith, and 70% of the time you just go into mass units. But oftentimes you'll go mines and lay a few mines out on the map to stop heavy attacks coming in. But here, between the armory and just having 2 factories, like, there's going to be a lot of Goliaths out here. This drop probably won't do very much, but we'll see. Thing is, you'll still be able to get a little bit no matter what, even with this stuff chasing you around. You know, the vultures and tanks don't kill vultures that quickly. So look at this. He just finds a different location to run into. Doesn't actually unload. And then as the tank and Goliath or vulture go down there, he does swing back around into the main. Wow, Flash is actually just not dropping out his vultures. Okay, so Flash got a completely full scout of everything. He cost a little bit of lost mining time, and he flies out, and he's just going to start flying his buildings home because otherwise the Goliaths will kill them. Okay, so right now Flash is getting mines, and he is getting up to 4 factories. Obviously, his 4 factories is going to be, well, just slightly... Well, the number 2 was way slower, and then number 3 was faster, and number 4 was about the same time. So they're actually going to be... Like, we're going to have a little bit of a lead here for C overall. And hold on. Oh, okay. No, this... Okay, so look, Comstats cost 4 SCVs when you make them. Flash is up 4 SCVs against a gasless expansion. Dude, I honestly don't even know how he does this. He is so, so ludicrously mechanically good that he is up in workers right now. That is crazy. Against gasless expansion, if you go factory expansion, right, your command center is just so much slower. And you have to halt SCV production on your main command center as you start this. So kind of crazy. Anyways, some vultures do run in after they get some mines out. He didn't actually lay every single mine, but gets in here, kills a couple SCVs at least. So Flash will have a slightly larger SCV advantage right now. Has that 4 factory production, has his own academy, getting an armory up there as well. Still has his dropship alive and well. Now, Flash going out into the center and just kind of sieging up at the moment. Kind of sieging up in an interesting location where you can't get your vultures on top of him. And C is coming down on both sides with a much bigger army right now. So you can see the very big difference that the 2 build orders will bring about, right? Like, Flash overtook the center there. This is one of the problems when you're playing against one of these gasless expansions, right? They're just going to be flooding out units more quickly than you. You're never actually going to be up in supply until like much later in the game after many, many, many decisions. So right now, C is going to knock out this barracks, it looks like, or maybe very, very close to it. Looks like it might just barely live. In the meantime, the Siege Chank's pushing up here from Flash. Oh, wow, he actually gets a pick on one of those Siege Chanks. That's kind of big. Blocks this other one from running away. So we'll be able to get the confirmed kill on that one. C running in with everything he has, and actually this trade not going well for C now. Well, I guess this is where Flash takes the advantage. C has that 3rd command center on the way, so does Flash. C's a little bit faster. Pushing C back now. Flash going to go ahead, siege up. Okay, let's take a look, right? He's got his starport back. He's got +1 going. He's got 4 factories. Okay, over here. Yep, +1 going. Just now started, in fact. 4 factories. No starport as of yet. Similar SCV counts. Slightly faster 3rd command center. It's actually like a pretty close game right now. You can't really name who's advantaged. In my opinion, I think that this is ever so slightly Flash advantaged. He has a bit more control in the center here. I like this placement. I really like the fact that he already has a starport up as well, so he actually has a little bit more flexibility with what he can make here. And in fact, he is making a Wraith. and that could be very, very useful. So Flash right now, move commanding up that ramp to go ahead and snag that siege tank. A flank of vultures comes up. I don't know how he did not take damage from that mine. Unbelievable targeting. But yeah, it looks like between the SCVs fighting and the flank of the vultures, as well as a couple tanks coming up, he will clear Flash's siege tanks out. But Flash's army advantage does continue. He has a Wraith going across the map. I don't believe we have any real anti-air here. Let's just double check. Like, earlier on, C lost his Goliaths that he had made early in the game, and he had also lost his Marines. So he is making 2 Goliaths now, but that one Wraith may cause a little bit of a problem. I actually don't see where to end. There it is. So here you could, like, maybe kill the siege tank. Maybe you can kill the barracks, at least make it float way far away. Flash right now, if we zoom out a little bit, you can see, right? So Flash and C both kind of cutting this in half a little bit. Flash's position a little bit better here, right? Like C is a little bit further back and Flash is arcing all the way up. So this is giving some support to this. And he's got some mines up here. So he kind of has a containment here, not exactly. And then he has kind of like a do not pass area. So C has this area that he can push into a little bit, and that'll be strong. Flash sending a few units over to the side. And, well, right now we have, a very good siege tank setup. So C is sending an SCV. It looks like he's going to go ahead, take his 4th base. A couple more factories going for Flash. Oh, wow. He has that 2nd armory going. So right now we're at 5, 6, 7, 8 factories going up. And 3 add-ons here for C. This is something I've noticed about C's play in TVT, is he definitely does stuff like this where he's actually on a lower factory count, but really focusing heavily on siege tanks. We saw that in ASL last season as well. So 2-1 on the way right now. Nice little drop from Flash coming out. Yeah, Flash does have those 3 add-ons also, being very annoying with these with these little vulture drops. That's definitely something we've seen in Flash's TVTs. He actually skipped that drop earlier, but is utilizing that dropship very, very well now. We'll see if it actually can get out of here as it flies over that missile turret. Ah, just barely. But yeah, very good setup here from Flash. More units coming up. Looks like he will clear these mines. Kind of a crazy situation here, how they both have... This is, like, extremely mirrored in the center. Looks like Flash getting ready, though, to maybe bust a portion of this. We don't really have anything other than tanks and 1 Goliath. So Flash should be able to pretty easily here clear these tanks on the bottom. So if he takes control of this area and control of this area, obviously that's incredibly, incredibly strong. And, in fact, he is killing off a lot of the siege tanks there of C. So he's going to have to be careful because he is expanding over there to 9 o'clock. Oh, and we did have a little drop going down here as well. See, guys, I'm getting better at observing. And, yeah, catch it. It doesn't really get that much damage, but he's getting a little bit. He's forcing a little bit of multitasking going on from Flash. That Wraith coming in very, very handily here. And a siege tank coming back to try to clear out these vultures. But sometimes, yeah, the AI on these are... It's pretty poor. So the siege tank moves up and will help to clean out those vultures. So the new base is just about completed here for C, who's going to bring up some siege tanks. +1 still on the way for both sides. +2 should be finishing around the same time. They both have that +1 armor as well. So really, really close. Actually, quite a good match between the two, right? C is in good shape. This is a good-looking game. And Flash moving up is going to be able to bust some of these siege tanks. Yeah, getting through this area and clearing that. Okay, well, that's where your position really falls apart as C. He actually has all these tanks down here. Maybe he was thinking of going into this area or covering up for this area. And moves here and kind of maintains control of this position. But yeah, even with these drops coming in, yeah, I was just going to say he can drop on this, unsiege and push in, and just clear this out. Yeah, beautifully done there from Flash. So Flash completely controls the center now. This is going to be suffocating for C. C is down a good 20-30 supply right now. And unless he has mass dropships, there's not a lot of options. And looking around, like he had that one dropship that flew over, but I think that's it. I don't know if this game has much left in it because C is in this terrible position. I got to tell you, like as a Terran player, I've been in this position before where, you know, the game looked good, it looked good. You lost a couple chunks of army in the center. Suddenly you're way down in supply. There's a containment up. You're moving through really awkward positions. And the player that has that map control can just kind of spread out and do everything at once, right? We have a decent containment here, a decent containment here, bunch of tanks moving down here. It looks like it might be for an attack here, but even if he comes up and defends, you can just leave a few for a containment, and suddenly C can't get down here. Obviously, he can't get over here. I really like TVT zoomed out. I'm sorry about that. I realize that like it might be confusing when I have it way zoomed out and I'm like, oh, you can't get here, you can't get here, and I'm like flicking it around and you don't know where I'm jumping to. But yeah, this is really the best way to look at TVT, honestly, is the zoomed out portion. Imagine studying TVT back in the day on replays. You have to go like this, be like, oh wow, okay, so he has tanks here. Does he have any over here? Oh, okay. No. Oh, way up here. Okay. Whereas you can just zoom out and see. Okay, so C right now pushing through. This might be his final real chance in this game. Comes up, sieges. Flash just had too many tanks come in for that reinforcement here as well. Both sides on that +2 attack. You hear mass scans going on right now. I think that's probably from C for the most part, where he's just checking to see if he's completely screwed. He just doesn't have much, and he knows it. See this? Down about 40 supply. Some of that, of course, is in SCVs, and now Flash flying around with some dropships. Has mass siege tanks. Yeah. Looks like he's going to be able to bust this. I think once you bust this, there's nothing really left for C to even try at that point. He has to have the 4 bases up, as simple as that. Drops on top of those 2 siege tanks. Sieging up himself, going to make this very, very cost efficient, especially if he can target those siege tanks. The Vulture's taking some very important hits, but yeah, targets those down a little bit. And C with almost nothing left over. More tanks coming up. And we'll be seeing a GG here. You don't stay in a position like that. All right, GG. Well played. I think C does look good, but definitely a few flaws fundamentally with the amounts of units he left in certain areas. An important thing to remember in TVT is like, yeah, early on, you know, just the defender's advantage of being in siege mode is super strong. But if you're not reinforcing, your opponent will overrun those positions. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.